Dear students, let us start another topic, that is jaw suspension in vertebrates. Myself Sarshad Hussain, Assistant Professor of Zoology from Government Degree College, Surancoat. As the animals evolved from primitive filter feeders, if you look at the evolution of the vertebrates, their ancestors were having the filter feeding mode of nutrition. So, that was the primitive type, but now if you look at the current vertebrates, they are raptorial feeders or predatory feeders, that is they prey upon other animals. So, during the course of evolution, when the animals have shifted themselves from filter feeders to predatory feeders, the subluxocranium part of the skull, that means the part which is formed by the visceral arches, modified itself to a greater extent. Now, you must remember that basically these visceral arches, they contributed to the formation of the jaws. So, what I mean to say, because jaws are meant for they are specialized for the feeding purpose. So, once the animals have shifted themselves from filter feeder to predatory feeder, so with the modifications of the visceral arches, the jaws have developed differently in different organisms, and they are in turn articulated with the skull in a different mode. So, it means this mode of articulation or the suspension of the jaws with the cranium is not similar in all the animals, because the animals are showing different degree of evolutions. Jaw suspension means attachment of the jaws with the skull or chondrocranium. This is the neurocranium or the chondrocranium. So, attachment of jaws is called the jaw suspension. So, these jaws, they have attached themselves with the cranium, and depending upon their attachment, they have different chewing and biting mechanism, and basically the goal of the animals during the evolution is to develop an efficient attachment for efficient biting and chewing of the food. There are different ways in which these attachments are attained depending upon the modification of the visceral arches, because the jaws are made from the visceral arches, and the second visceral arch, which was called the hyoid articulate the jaws with the cranium. So, first two arches, that means the first arch, visceral arch, and the second visceral arch, they contribute themselves in the formation of the jaw and in the suspension of the jaw with the chondrocranium. So, it varies from one animal to another. That is what we are going to study in this topic, that is how the jaws in different animals have attached themselves with the chondrocranium or the neurocranium. Now, there are 5 types of the jaw suspension: orthodiastylic, amphistylic, hyostylic, autostylic. Autostylic further has 3 types: holostylic, monimostylic, steptostylic, and the 5th type is the craniostylic. Let us look first of all at the autodiastylic. Now, this condition is found in earliest jawed vertebrates. Gnathostomes means having jaws, like acanthodians. Acanthodians are the fishes that are not present today, they are extinct. Here in the autodiastylic, jaws are attached to the cranium. So, this is the jaw, these are the two jaws, they are attached with the chondrocranium, this is the chondrocranium, with the help of the two ligaments, anterior ligament and the posterior ligaments. In them, the second gill arch, that is the hyoid arch, is completely free, neither it is attached with the part of the cranium, nor it is contributing towards the attachment of these jaws with one another or with the skull. So, it is completely free. So, what I mean to say that in them the upper jaw is fused with the chondrocranium with the help of the two ligaments, and then the quadrate bone or the artic process of the upper jaw or the plateau quadrate attach itself with the articular bone. This piece of the bone of the Meckel's cartilage at the lower jaw is called the articular bone. So, articular bone of lower jaw get itself attached with the this artic process of the upper jaw. Then there is the second condition, the amphistylic. It is rather primitive type of arrangement. It is found in Crassoterygii and in the primitive sharks. Sharks means cartilaginous fishes. Here the quadrate or the basal or artic process. So, this artic process is also called as quadrate bone of the upper jaw, and then this is called the basal process. So, artic process and the basal process of the upper jaw, because the jaws are made from the mandibular arc. So, they are called the you can say the upper jaw has a synonym mandibular arc. So, the basal process and the artic process of the mandibular arc or the upper jaw are attached with the help of the ligaments to the chondrocranium. Now, in addition to it, the hyomandibular bone of this hyoid arc is also attaching the lower jaw with the upper jaw and with the chondrocranium also. So, here hyoid arc is also supporting the suspension of the jaws, and the jaws are themselves also attached with the chondrocranium with the help of ligament. Since there is two mode of attachment, one is through ligament, other is through second arc, that means hyoid arc, where the hyomandibular bone of the hyoid arc is participating its role. So, because of the two modes of arrangement, attachment with the skull, it is called the amphistylic. Then you are having the third type, that is called artostylic. Now, in the artostylic, the upper jaw, which is called the plateau quadrate, is not fixed with the chondrocranium. It is little bit loose, and this condition is present in most cartilaginous fishes and the bony fishes also. So, the plateau quadrate is loosely attached with the cranium with the help of a bone called the ethmopalatine ligament. Sorry, with the help of the ligament called the ethmopalatine ligament of the cranium. So, this is the ethmopalatine ligament of the cranium, and then the spiracle ligament are also present there, which are attaching the loose plateau quadrate with the upper with the chondrocranium. In addition, both the jaws, the upper as well as the lower, they are braced against the hyoid arc, the hyomandibular bone. So, they fits very closely to it, and in turn this hyomandibular bone of the hyoid arc is attaching itself with the auditory region of the skull. So, here again what do you mean by this, that the jaws they are fixed with the bone of the hyomandibular, and the hyomandibular is attached with the skull. In addition to this, the ligament of the ethmopalatine and the ligament of the spiracular region of the skull are attaching with the upper jaw. So, this is the type of jaw suspension which is called as hyostylic. Now, here if you look at the binding only hyoid brace or bind the two jaws against cranium, because this ligament is very loose type of attachment. So, major role is played by the hyoid arc. So, it is called the hyostylic type. So, the loose attachment of the upper jaw with the cranium, and this mode of attachment with the help of the hyomandibular provides a wider movement to the jaws, and it helps in swallowing the larger prey. Then you are having the fourth type called the orthostylic. In orthostylic, you can see this type of arrangement is found in extinct placoderm, chimeras, which are called the flying fishes, the lungfishes. Most of the tetrapods, that means amphibians, reptiles and birds, have such type of arrangement or the suspension of the jaws, which is called as orthostylic. Now, here hyomandibular is not taking part in the suspension of the jaw, rather it is forming the columella or the steps of the ear ossicles. And if you look at the upper jaw, the platochordate, it is firmly fused whole along the length with the chondrocranium or the cranium, and it is the articular bone of the lower jaw, that means this portion, which is attaching itself with the quadrate bone of the upper jaw, and the quadrate bone is also fixed because whole of this platochordate is fixed all along the length of the chondrocranium. The orthostylic has further three types. One is holostylic. In holostylic, upper jaw is firmly fused as depicted in this picture with the skull, and the lower jaw suspend to the upper jaw with the help of a joint, the hinge type of joint. In the second type of the orthostylic, the monostotic, it is found in many tetrapods. Again, upper jaw is fused with the cranium immovably. So, that means it is firmly attached with the cranium all along the length, and the lower jaw articulate with the help of the articular bone to the quadrate bone of the upper jaw. Now, the third type, called the steptostylic, it is found in some reptiles, lizards and snakes and birds. Here the quadrate in this type is loosely attached, that means it will not be attached firmly as in this picture, it will be loosely attached and it is movable at both the ends. So, the quadrate bone is loosely attached and with the upper skull or the chondrocranium, and it can move from both the ends. So, this condition is called as steptostylism. The lower jaw in case of the steptostylic is again having the two movable joints. The articulation takes place between the quadrate bone of the cranium. So, quadrate bone of cranium, that means this position, and the articular bone of the lower jaw. So, in steptostylic, the upper jaw is not so firmly fixed, but it is movably attached with the chondrocranium. Then the last or the fifth type of the jaw suspension is called the craniostylic. This type of jaw suspension is characteristics of mammal, and some consider it as a modification of orthostylic suspension. Here the upper jaw fused throughout its length, you can see it is fused throughout its length with the chondrocranium, and hyomandibular forms the ear ossicle stapes. So, the hyomandibular have formed the stapes, you can see over there, but the articular and the quadrate bone also become modified into ear ossicle. Now, here the articular bone of the lower jaw and the quadrate bone of the upper jaw or the skull are again forming the ear ossicle. So, this is a little bit modification, ear ossicle, which may be the Milius, which may be the incus. Consequently, two dermal bones, that means dentary bone of lower jaw. So, dentary bone of lower jaw and the squamosal bone of the skull provides articulation to the jaw. So, what I mean to say over here is that here no role is taken played by the second arc, hyoid arc, and in turn the some part of the upper jaw and the lower jaw, that means the articular bone and the this one quadrate bone, they do not have any role with the jaw suspension. It is the dentary bone directly of the lower jaw and the squamosal bone of the skull that are helping in articulation of the jaws with the skull, and the upper jaw is completely fused with the contocranium along its length. Thanks. This is all about the jaw suspension in case of the vertebrates.